What is going on, guys? It's your boy Saf Ali from Anything Entertainment, and today I'm going to be doing a ranking videos. And today's ranking video is going to be about Marvel movies, specifically the MCU movies. So I'm going to be ranking the MCU movies, all 23 of them, from least to greatest. So let's get started with number 23. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Number 23, Thor: The Dark World. Thor: The Dark World was the worst MCU movie of all time, cause the plot was terrible, the villain is so forgettable, and really the only good thing about this movie is Loki. Honestly, I would never watch this ever again. Number 22, Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 wasn't a good movie at all. It just shows Tony Stark creates his villains, like Justin Hammer and Whiplash. Justin Hammer all around just sucked. He wasn't good as a villain at all. And Whiplash, at the start of the movie, he was a really good villain, but then during the end, he was just really bad. Honestly, all this movie did was introduce characters like Black Widow and War Machine. Number 21, The Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk wasn't a good movie at all. The CGI was really bad, and basically, they didn't show most of the characters back in the movie. Like Betty Ross and Abomination. Abomination was really bad villain. Like, he's cool in the comics and stuff, but here he just looks hideous. And the only person that they showed back in the MCU was General Ross. Ugh. Number 20, Thor. Thor was an okay movie. It introduced characters like Thor and Loki, but the villain was barely in the movie. Laufey died halfway through the movie, and Loki wasn't like a villain. He was trying to pretend to be a hero. I mean, it still kind of is villainous, but he wasn't too good. But it did introduce worlds other than Earth, so that's one. Number 19, Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 was an okay movie. It showed after the Battle of New York how Tony Stark reacted to other villains and how his day-to-day life was. Aldrich Killian was a pretty good villain, but the best villain of all time is definitely Trevor Noah. You gotta give props to him. Number 18, Iron Man. Iron Man, the movie that started it all. It was a great movie, but compared to the nowadays MCU, it doesn't come close. It's an amazing movie. I love the villain, but it's not close to the others. Number 17, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was a pretty good movie. We all loved Baby Groot. Like, who wouldn't love that adorable guy? But in the movie, there are a few things that didn't really go together. Like, this Gold Queen lady just comes and just keeps on attacking because she lost, like, what, 1 or 2 batteries? And Peter Quill's father coming now? Doesn't he have a celestial bond to Quill? But the reason it's this low is because Yondu died. Done. Number 16, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Avengers: Age of Ultron really underused the character Ultron. They didn't even bring out the big showstopper Ultimo in the movie. Like, that would have been epic. And Vision, they showed really weak, not just in this movie, in a lot of other movies. But they did introduce characters like Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and they killed him like 10 minutes after. It just was too much action in the movie as well.
Number 15, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp was a really funny movie, but there's some things in the movie that didn't make this movie as good. Like, the villain wasn't even a villain for the whole movie. It was just a girl who got wronged by Dr. Hank Pym. And the whole movie was about just saving Hank Pym's wife. Like, that isn't a superhero movie.
Number 14, Captain America, the First Avenger.
Out of all the original Avengers, Captain America had the best origin story movie. Honestly, it would have been so much higher if all the other movies weren't as good. But it had such good things, like the main villain being one of the best villains of all time in the MCU. And everybody absolutely loves Peggy Carter. They even gave her own show. Come on. This is a really good movie.
Number 13, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man was a really good movie. Everybody loves Scott Lang's one-liners. He's probably the king of one-liners. And Hank Pym. Come on, they showed the old version. That they should have showed him young at least a little bit. But Yellow Jacket was pretty bad. That's why it's this far back.
Number 12, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange was a really good movie. They showed a different side of the MCU that nobody knew was there, the mystical side. And it showed a lot of different and cool characters like Wong, Baron Mordo, and the Ancient One. But this movie is a little bit down because Caecilius wasn't as big of a villain as they thought, and they didn't show Dormammu as much.
Number 11, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Spider-Man Homecoming. Finally, they showed Spider-Man in the MCU. It was a great film. They had a really good duo with Iron Man and Spider-Man. The Vulture was a great villain. And this movie, the only reason this movie was this low was because you kind of had too much of Iron Man. He didn't make like a little cameo. He was just in the movie too much. Hey, but we gotta love Ant-Man and Tony Stark.
Number 10, Captain Marvel.
Now we go into our top 10s with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel showed she was one of, if not the most powerful superhero in the MCU. And they showed that the Skrulls this time, they're good guys. Maybe. The villain was okay, but the real showstopper was Nick Fury with Goose. Come on, they are so cute together.
Number 9, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Spider-Man Far From Home was a great way to end off Phase 3. They had a great villain who had such a good story, one of a comic favorites, and the movie was just great. They finally showed MJ with Peter, and everything was good. They even showed zombie Tony Stark. But the best part of this movie was at the end, when they revealed that the whole world knows Spider-Man is Peter Parker. That's one of the best cliffhangers ever.
Number 8, Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier was a great movie. They didn't just show Captain America, they showed other characters like Black Widow, Bucky, and Falcon, which gave the movie a lot of depth. And it showed Bucky being a half villain, half hero turned against. But the movie was amazing. together. They showed Hydra still being a part of the MCU and them infiltrating SHIELD. And SHIELD was also a big part of this movie. They didn't really show SHIELD in all the other films, but they showed SHIELD a lot in this one.
Number 7. Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok, in my opinion, was the funniest movie in the whole MCU and had the best battle sequence between Thor and Hulk. And they showed the good side of Loki, and it was so epic, and they got introduced to fan favorites like Valkyrie and showed a new side to the God of Thunder. The villains actually, Hela and Surtur, were amazing. And the best part was they destroyed Asgard at the end. Honestly, this movie was so good.
Number 6. Captain America Civil War.
Captain America Civil War was a great movie, having heroes versus heroes. But it all started with Scarlet Witch accidentally blowing up a hospital, killing millions of people. Then General Ross proposed the Sokovia Accords, but half of the heroes and half of the heroes approved, half of the heroes didn't approve. So then the heroes that didn't approve still wanted to be superheroes, and Captain America wanted to show that his friend Bucky wasn't a threat. But Baron Zemo did a few things and made all the heroes butt heads. But you gotta love 6v6 hero versus hero. But in this movie they showed Vision really, really weak.
Number 5. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was the first cosmic movie in the MCU. It showed 5 idiots coming together to form a team to stop Ronan, who is the villain of the movie, and get the Power Stone, because these guys knew the Infinity Stones, not like the Avengers and the heroes on Earth. And in the end, most of them hated Thanos, so that was really good in Avengers Infinity War.
Number 4. The Avengers.
The Avengers. The first time superheroes teamed up to fight one villain. Nick Fury started it all by assembling these 6 of Earth's mightiest heroes to take down Loki and his army of Chitauri. This movie was amazing. Honestly, it was one of the best movies of all time. This movie got me into superheroes. Probably got most of us into superheroes. This movie was so good. And honestly, the movies ahead of this movie are just a little bit better. There's no big difference, just a little bit.
Number 3. Black Panther.
Black Panther was the most financially successful movie of all time. They had such a good character in Black Panther. His sister Shuri was so good that since Marvel is owned by Disney, they called Shuri a Disney princess. Their villain was a top 3 villain of all time. And you gotta love M'Baku's. Just love him in general. This movie was amazing. And it didn't even have any other superhero in it. It was just Black Panther. That's awesome.
Number 2. Avengers Infinity War.
All heroes versus the Mad Titan Thanos on his quest to find all the Infinity Stones. There's a team in space, including Iron Man, Peter Parker, half of the Guardians, and Doctor Strange. Then there is a team on Earth with Captain America, Black Panther, Hulk, Black Widow, Bucky, Falcon, War Machine, and more. But in the end, Thanos won. He snapped his fingers and half of the universe bit the dust. But there is only one movie better than this.
Number 1. Avengers Endgame.
It's been 5 years since the snap, since Thanos won, and they have not seen or heard from him since. But a rat saved Ant-Man, who came back with an idea. And the heroes that survived said, "Screw this, let's save the galaxy." They got Fat Thor, and they were on their way with some time travel shenanigans. In the end, though, Black Widow sacrificed herself for the Soul Stone for the heroes to get all 6. Hulk snapped his fingers and brought back the rest of the galaxy back, but lost his arm while doing so. But then Thanos came from 2014, and the heroes versus villains battle began. But in the end, it was Tony Stark who sacrificed himself to save the galaxy. But Captain America gets he gets a happy ending, but Tony Stark dies when he gets a kid. Wow, that's pretty messed up. But this movie was the best MCU movie of all time. Go down in the comments and say which movie should have been where, and I'll see you guys next time.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.